Welcome to Problem Solving, Finding Unknown Links. We are going to take everything that we've learned in this chapter and we are going to apply it to problem solving. So here is our first problem. Michelle's bedroom has an area of 120 square feet. The width of the room is 5/6 the length of the room. What are the dimensions of Michelle's room? So first we need to think about what we know about area, and hopefully from 4th grade you remember that area is equal to the length times the width. And we know what our area is. We know that our area is 120 square feet. What we don't know are our length times our width, other than the fact that our length and our width, when multiplied together, equal 120 feet, and that the width of the room is 5/6 the length of the room. And so we are looking for the dimensions of Michelle's room. So we're going to use a strategy called guess and check, but we're not going to just make wild guesses. We're going to make educated guesses. So I know my answer is 120 square feet and that I need two numbers that are multiplied together that are going to equal that. So if I think of the numbers that equal 120, I know my numbers have to be fairly close together because they're, the width of the room is 5/6 the length of the room. So I can start by listing all of my factors. That's not a bad idea. So as you're doing this, think 1 times 120, 2 times 60, 3 is going to go in because 1 plus 2 is 3, and that's a number you say when you count by threes. 3 and 40, 4 and 30. I know that 5 will go into it because it ends in a 0, so 5 into 120. 5 goes into 12 twice. 5 and 24. I still haven't found any numbers that are really close to each other. I know that 6 goes into 120 because 2 and 3 both go into 120. So 6 into 120 is 20. 7 does not. 8 into 120. Sometimes I just have to check. 8 and 15. 9 into 120. Nope. 10 into 120. 10 times 12. And then I'm done. Because it goes right back up the other side. So those are all of my factors that equal 120. And I'm looking for numbers that are really close together because the width of the room is 5/6 the length of the room. So the numbers that I see that are close together are 10 and 12. So and they definitely equal 120, but what I need to know is 10 5/6 of 12? Is 10 5/6 of 12? So I am going to find out when I multiply 12 times 5/6, do I get 10? So I'm going to put the 12 over a 1. I'm going to do a little cross canceling, going crossways. I can divide both 12 and 6 by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. 12 divided by 6 is 2. And 5 times 2 is 10 over 1, which is equal to 10. So my first guess was right, but my first guess was right because I took the time to think of all of my factors. So my length, if the width of the room is 5/6 the length of the room, the length is the longer number. So my length is equal to 12, and my width is equal to 10. Okay, that was a lot of hard work. Actually, it was a lot of work. It wasn't really hard. It required perseverance. So here's our next problem. Tristan is painting on a piece of canvas that has an area of 180 square inches. The length of the painting is 1 1/4 inches times the width. I think that word is missing there. What are the dimensions of the painting? Or maybe I'll just say more than. We'll put that in there, more than the width. Okay. So we know we're still dealing with area. Area equals length times width, and we know our area is 180 square inches. I need two numbers, a length and a width, that equal 180, but the length is 1 1/4 inches longer or more than the width. So I'm not looking for numbers that are as close together this time. Again, I need to list my factors for 180. 1 and 180, 2 and 90. Why don't you pause right here and see if you can list them, and then turn it back on and see how you did. 3 and 60. I'm going to check 4. Four and 45. 5 is going to go into it. 5 and 36. 6 will go into it because 2 and 3 both already went into it. 6 and 30. Not 7. Not 8. 9 and 20. 10 and 18. I'll need to check 12. Yep, 12 and 15. Not 13 and not 14. So I am done, and so I am looking for numbers. It's not more than, now that I'm writing this, it's the length of the painting is 1 1/4 inches. I don't have my phrasing right. So actually, I think the phrasing was right to begin with. All right, so we are looking for a length that is 1 1/4 inches times the width. So I need numbers that are not terribly far apart. I'm just going to make a guess. I'm going to try 10 and 18 first. So if I try 10 and I multiply it times 1 1/8, 1 1/4, I have to change 1 1/4. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So now I have 10 times 5/4. I'm going to put my 10 over 1. 10 times 5 is 50, and 4 times 1 is 4. And if I divide 50 by 4, oops, I don't even get an even number. So those are not my right answers. 10 and 18 are not my correct answers. So you see how I made a guess? I'm not right. So I'm going to go with numbers that appear to be closer than that. I'm going to try 12 and 15. So I'm going to multiply 12 times 1 1/4, which was 5/4, and see if I get 15. So I'm going to put 12 over 1. 12 times 5 is 60. 1 times 4 is 4. And 60 divided by 4. 4 goes into 6 one time. And look what I get. I get 15. So 12 and 15 were my correct guesses. Let's see, my length was longer than the width. So my width is equal to 12, and my length is equal to 15. Okay, sorry about the confusion on the way I worded that problem. Everybody makes mistakes, right? Okay, the area of the paper is 36 square inches. The length is 2 1/4 times the width. What would the dimension of the papers be? So, again, area equals length times width, and we know that the area is 36 square inches. We need two numbers that when multiplied together equal 36, and that the length is 2.5 times the width. So the larger number is here, and we're going to check by using our smaller number. Okay, so factors of 36. Why don't you pause right here and see if you come up with them. All right, there they are. Did you come up with them all? Okay, so now you're looking for two numbers that are separated, that one of the numbers is 2 1/4 times the width, so more than twice as big. So what would you choose? I know what I would choose, but I'm also the teacher. So let's just say I am going to choose 3 and 12. How I would check it is I would do 3 times 2 1/4. I have to change 2 1/4. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 is 9. 3 times 9/4. 3 times 9 is 27 divided by 4, and I can tell right away that's not going to be it because 27 divided by 4 is not 12. So it's definitely not that, but I checked. I made a guess and I checked. So I'm going to go with 4 and 9, and I'm going to check those. So I'm going to check with 4 times 2 1/4, which was 9/4. And I can tell already. 4 times 9 is 36. 4 times 1 is 4. And when I divide it, I get 9. So my two numbers that are multiplied together to equal 36 are 4 and 9. My length is 2 1/4 times the width, which means my width is my smaller number, and my length equals 9. Okay, the next one is going to be yours to solve on your own and bring just one problem for homework. All right, remember that area equals length times width. Have a great evening.